So, Trixie. Yes. Do you think we should change the episode title back to normal after next week or after the 5th episode? Trixie wants to give it a week. Let's see how many of your haters and how many people are actually going to come by and ask the question I thought you were actually done. And see how many actually pay attention to the intro. I have a feeling nobody's actually going to really pay attention to the intro. They're just going to post out the video and go, yep, he ripped Mike all right. And try to use that as evidence against something, I don't know. But for those of you who are actually paying attention to the show, welcome to Nightmare and Nick's by Reality. I can't write to save my life. Check. Despite past trash record with accident and mishap, the original CMC were not, in fact, dumb. Young, inexperienced, rash in their decisions, most certainly, but not dumb. Yes, they are. Their friend Nick's, possibly being the most emotional and sensitive villain ever known, the villain who had once been Nightmare Moon, who had struggled so hard to overcome being Nightmare Moon, who had been dragged backwards through all sorts of guilt and trouble, outright traumatic moments because of Nightmare Moon, who even now had ponies out there who wanted her in prison or exiled or worse just because he had once been Nightmare Moon, and just asked him to explain Nightmare Night. A holiday that featured a horrible, twisted boogie monster that would have given the timid Nick's nightmare for weeks. Nightmare Moon. Just reminder, she's not Nightmare Moon. I'm not seeing the problem here. You are making a mountain. You see that? That's a molehill. That is a mountain. Excuse me, Mr. Mole. Please. Where would you prefer to live? You might be the molehill. Do you think you can make that? No. That's what you're doing, Reality Check. You are making a mountain out of a molehill. This is a non-problem for this fic. This could only end well. It's about Nightmare Moon and how evil she used to be. Well, it's a good thing I'm not Nightmare Moon. The end of fic. Bum. Skill rubbed the back of her head and tried to think of what to say. Well, it's like all about ghosts and boogeyman and stuff. Yeah, it's the night that all the, Why is this a problem? Okay, I'm speeding across this dialogue. This is utterly stupid. Yeah, it's all the night that all the ghosts and boogie monsters and stuff come out and run around and then we get candy. Boom. Easy. I'm not really seeing why there was even the scene needed to exist. Nick's turquoise eyes went from one crusader to another as they talked. She blinked a couple of times as the snow job went down. Really? That's what it's all about? Serious? Rally for pony? I'm looking at the dialogue box here, guys. And they left out the candy. I can't believe they left that out. Their grins, as they did, were so unsullied, he could have given a Timberwolf pause. There was a bright silence. Then the rest of the Crusader Club spoke up. Yeah! Only one voice abstained. Pisky frowned and spoke up. Well, that isn't night. What about Nightmare? Candy? Hello? My goodness, Art! Do you think you got the most important part? Yeah, it seems so. I mean, from what I see, Nightmare Moon was only part of the festivities. There was also games and dressing up. It's like if you only focus on someone for Halloween. And I do hope all of my mythological people who are watching this apologize. I apologize for mispronouncing Sam Hain's name. I'm probably going to go through at least 3 different explanations of his name. Because even JM has had a problem with that, so But I think he had an excuse for this where he said it's a story, don't folk worry about it. Skillu was fast. Not Nightmare or the Rainbow Dash fast, but fast enough. As soon as he saw Pipsqueak start to speak, she saw across the room, all but hit the little tri-hand pointing at a tackle, and dragged him out to the door. Why isn't Twilight explaining any of this? Excuse me, I forgot something for a minute. I had to ask Pip, but it's kind of private. Be right back! The door banged and shut beside her. Sea and Pip were now standing outside of Treehouse's balcony, rain deep around their ears. Pip caught his breath and looked at Skillu. Blimey, what was that all about? Skillu hushed him. Pip, you can't tell Nightmare Nix about Nightmare Night and Nightmare Moon. Well, why? You never not. Pip complained, dropping his voice to a whisper when Skillu hushed him again. Don't you remember? Nix is Nightmare Moon. Problem. According to Penstroke and later editions of Past Sins, he did set this sometime around after the end of Season 2. Pipsqueak would have already been there. If Cadance is there and already married to Shining Armor, then that means Pipsqueak has already been through Nightmare Night. He's already had a Nightmare Night adventure, which means he would have been in town. Which means he would have been through all the adventures with Nix. Or somebody would have said something. Now, let's be fair here. Maybe reality check will... No, you're right, it's stupid. Well, she used to be, but she got better. She's just sneaking out, don't worry. I'm not worried, Pip said. I'm confused. I thought Princess Luna was Nightmare Moon. Skillu faced tough. How can you not remember this? Where were you when Nightmare Moon came back and took over Equestria? On Napalm with my parents. We were gone for half a year. Yes, this is common sense. Hello! Skillu deadpan. Oh, right. She struggled for a minute, trying to think of how to explain to Pip about Nix's origins. She was Nightmare Moon and Luna, yada yada yada. It's complicated, but just trust me on this, okay? She started to explain to Cold's weakness. Look, if you tell Nix that Nightmare Night is all about Nightmare Moon, you'll make her cry. You don't want to do that, do you? Then just say it's about when Luna was Nightmare Moon. Boom. Pip was stricken. Making a girl cry was the worst possible thing in the whole universe. Okay, I won't say a thing ever, he promised. On my honor, I won't. Pinky promise, Skillu said. Pip nodded to the Moses. Good. Okay, but you gotta explain to me later how Luna and Nix are both Nightmare Moon. Pip said, this is making my head hurt. He stepped back inside, just in time to hear Nix say, so we go door to door and ponies give us treats. But why does trick-or-treating have anything to do with Nightmare Night at all? Why? I'll tell you why. Because candy! What took you so long to get to that point? I mean, this really doesn't feel like a problem that should have arisen unless you were a bad writer. Oh, wait. There was a babble of voices, everyone trying to announce their idea first. Appleblossom waved her forehead or hose in the air. Holy. Happily all right, do you stand, then we'll read one at a time. Everyone agreed this was a better approach. Alright, Lucky, could you pass out sheets of paper? I'll get the pencils. Next side, she looked down at her list of ideas. She has gotten far as writing the numbers down on the left-hand side, just like Mom always told her to start a list. But after she was out of ideas. Her first idea had been the costume from the school play he had done. But they were old costumes and everyone had seen them already. And besides, she plus a little, she really didn't want to remind anybody of Nightmare Moon anymore. Nightmare Moon, Nightmare Moon, Nightmare Moon, blah. She was even sick of the name. She hastily scribbled that idea out. Pee-wee perched on top of her hoof and idly pecked at the paper. Maybe to get all dressed up as birds? Nah, that was awful. Where did he get all the feathers? Pirates? Soldiers? How about ghosts? That'd be easy. Just lots of sheets and holes to look through. She scratched those ideas down, but wasn't really thrilled with them. How about space ponies? She wrote that one down. Then a bright flash of inspiration crossed everything else out. Wrote down one last idea, thinking came around and skipped up the papers. Appleboom stacked them all in a neat pile. And Scootaloo began reading them off. Okay, let's see. Ghosts? That'd be kinda easy. Yeah, kinda lame. That'd never win the contest. Ninjas? That's kinda cool. But a bunch of people did ninjas last time. I mean, they're almost as plain as ghost costumes, just like pajamas. We gotta stick out. Well, you can always bring in headbands. None ninjas would stick out to me. Robots, zombies, and monkeys were likewise rejected. Pirates had been done by a couple of the Crusaders last time as well. The idea for everyone to dress up like bugs, butterflies, beetles, and caterpillars seemed like a winner, but it hit an impassable snag when some point suggested what Pipsqueak's costume would be. The little piebald uncaressingly had dug in his heels and refused to budge. There is no melting white in a gajillion years. I'm going to let man die dressed as a ladybug, he finally shied. Alright, bite your heads off already. Sheesh, Scootaloo said. Fumble surprisingly added his own ejection. It'll remind people of the changelings, he muttered unhappily. A pall fell over the group. It happened shortly before Nyx had been born, so she didn't remember. But she knew all about it from the others. Scary bug ponies with fangs and tattered insect wings. Would drain the love out of ponies until they nothing but a husk, who would look like any pony at all. Everyone shivered. Yeah, let's try another idea, huh? Sleepbell implored. Scootaloo flipped to the next paper, writing tightly. Hey, I think I like this one, she said. Ponies for the future. Was this yours next? What, you mean like time travelers? Rebel asked. Yeah, that'll work too, Scootaloo said. What do ponies from the future look like? Dinky said. Scootaloo looked at Nyx. Like in the movies, Nyx explained. They're all future-y. She went her host to figure out. Shiny lights, boots and stuff. Like Roger Bucks for the 25th century. Antennas, Fowlers, Appleflow added. Machinery blades. Like Earl Lippensetzer in that one movie. Spice was a rocket pox, Pip said. A bustle lady said. But what about E.C. Rustbone? Dinky said. We dressed all like a gentle pony with a top hat, had this big clock. That's the great thing. All those ideas could work. We all do different ones. It would still be one big group. We just be different places for the future, Scootaloo enthused. But how would any pony know we're supposed to be all for the future? Truffle said. Maybe we all wore watches? Silly Bell suggested. Everyone took a moment to ponder this. Well, we could have clocks on our costumes, hourglasses and stuff. Dinky guessed. A time machine! She bounced down excitedly as she was saying, let me stick a reindeer wagon to look like a time machine. We got all racing together and... Yeah, we're gonna get a bigger wagon though, Scootaloo said. Don't you worry about that, Applewood said confidently. I got millions about layers. This is gonna be like the Shed Bus ticket, is it? Sleepbell said unhappily. No. Here, let me tell you. Everyone pulled over and another sheet of paper started to draw. Sweetscale and Scootaloo butted in close with another couple of others. The rest of the group started chattering about their costume ideas. The meeting broke up into little groups of pairs, everyone drawing and scribbling and giving each other extensions. Nyx found herself walking next to Truffle and Twist. A warm, happy glow settled inside her. She had an idea that everyone liked. She set to drawing her idea for her costume as well, tongue sticking out of her mouth in concentration. You know, this is the problem with reality checks works. He always has a great idea that gets befuddled with politics and his little desire to go on author tracks or bolds a good idea to something that doesn't really need it. Twilight Sparkle sat across from her friend, sipping her coffee slowly. It was a double Munkle Ben, very rich and chocolatey. Rainy had been right in saying she loved it. The fascination was sitting across from her, sipping her delicately at her own coffee, blithely chatting about some customer or the other. So you can imagine, darling, when she asked for Twilight instead of Tope, I was at a loss for words. After a few hours of solitary at the library, Twilight succumbed to boredom and used the message scroll to make a date with Freddy for coffee. It was old custom with them now, meeting at the cafe and chatting about for the day. Of course, there have been a few changes over the past year. Among other things, the outdoor half of the cafe was now sheltered on a large glass awning. The rain pattered on it now, beating with shimmering raindrops. They sipped their coffee and chatted and listened to the rainfall. Twilight was only half listening to Rarity's chatter. She was too busy brooding. Anybody who knew her found that very meticulous and analytical. Unfortunately, that gave her a tendency to dwell on the most inconsequential of things, and even to go looking for them when there wasn't something handy. This morning, alas, I provided her with something to nitpick over. That album cover. She decided to put down her cup. Rarity, am I getting old? Rarity took pause and blinked at her bookish friend. Well, that's a rather unquestioned question, darling. She finally answered. Well, getting older, of course. But we're scarcely old. I mean, you're barely 20 now. Twilight shook her head. Not old in years. I mean, she waved her hoof and sighed. You know how I spent this morning? Sending my daughter off to her club meeting, house cleaning. Oh, and telling her to turn down that noise. She rested her chin on her hoof and looked sulky. When did I turn to my mother? Freddy's face lit up with understanding. Oh, I see. Again, I just don't see Twilight as being a rocker. She gave Twilight a wry look. Let me guess. Latest album by Sapphire Source. The two recited the title together. If it's too loud, you're too old. The two stared and laughed. Sleebell took it upon herself to share that little musical treasure with me and the entire boutique. Rarity said, Oh, poor adolescents will never be the same. She rested her hoof on Twilight's. Oh, I know what you're feeling, dear. It's not so much you're feeling old, it's maybe not you, man. You feel you've gotten things out of order. Come again? Twilight cocked an eyebrow. Well, you know the old school rhyme, Twilight. First comes the love, then comes marriage, then comes the foal and the two-horse carriage. Rarity recited with a laugh. With Nix, you do seem to have skipped a few steps. Yeah, because heavens knows single mothers don't exist. Let me guess, reality check. Derpy isn't a single mother. She actually has a husband who cares for her. Twilight blinked. Rarity hit the nail on the head. I guess you're right, she said. I mean, I never really thought much about romance. Good girl! Or marriage, or having a filly or call of my own, but I guess I did expect them to come in that order. Although you feel like you missed out on something, Rarity concluded. Well, the solution is rather simple. Whores! Get a couple of male whores and work on that. And that would be? Do I have to spell it out for you, darling? Go out on a date or two. You know, Twilight, a single mother doesn't need to necessarily go on dates to feel complete. She can enjoy her life and, reality check is going to turn this into just shipping fuel, isn't it? It'll make you feel worlds better to have somebody paying attention to you for a change. You know, RC, I had to laugh when you look like an evil version of Gary Gygax. Besides, you deserve special somebody in your life. No, they don't! Everybody does. You're not going to find him if you don't go looking for him now, are you? Rarity? What if I'm asexual? That's a possibility. What if I'm gay? That is a possibility. I don't know why I only say him. Hey! Reality check! You homophobic twit! Why am I only specifying him? Twilight thought it over. It would be nice to find a special somebody. A husband for her. Or another wife. A father for Nix. Because as we all know, gotta be married. She never really had a chance to date. It certainly looked like fun. It was time she started. No, it isn't. Where do I begin? She said out loud. Well, you can start with the Nightmare Night Ball. Rarity said. Twilight blinked. Nightmare Night Ball? Oh, and before anybody asked about Fall Starfleet, Twilight was only curious. And see, I found out she liked it. But she didn't have to. She just chose to. This is trying to say you have to. Not that it has to be her own decision, but that you have to find someone. As you heard, Princess Luna is holding a gala at the celebration for the completion of the Palace of Nightmare Moon. Twilight wouldn't know this. Why? Twilight agreed with a blank stare. A new private palace? Still nothing but a blank stare. The castle of your daughter popped out of the ground like a toadstool not a mile out of town. Rarity deadpan. Oh, that. I thought they were tearing that down. No, absolutely not. Luna looked around the place and decided it was just a palace for her. You know, I do imagine that the dear must have a yearn to get out from under her sister's wing once in a while. Rarity pondered. Anyway, Elsa's construction pennies were doing renovations, and Luna's going to hold a masquerade ball on Nightmare Night to celebrate its completion, and everyone in Ponyfield is invited. So give her a little squeal. Oh, I've been so busy with new dress orders. The ball is going to be in the main ballroom, and they're going to turn the rest of the palace into a haunted castle. Ah, good. Something Nightmare Night related with a castle. To keep the balls busy? Twilight hazarded a guess. And to give any of the fillies wondering how's the excuse to cut it up with their big, brave cult friends. Or their mare friends. Can we please stop being specific? Homophobic ass. Rarity said with a sly wink. You know, I sometimes think Reality Check is more homophobic than Maiken is. So what did you say? Let me pick out a ball gal and you pick out the lucky culter who gets to escort you. Actually, Rarity, I want you to escort me. Chains! Actually, Rarity, I'm having Rainbow Dash. Cliche! Actually, Rarity, I'm having Applejack. Don't you have a son, Applejack? Oh, you're right. Actually, I'm having Pinkie Pie. No, then that thing will destroy everything in existence. Actually, I'm having Fluttershy. The poor girl will fate! Actually, I'm having Trixie. Trix? Oh, you don't scare me. You only know illusion magic. Chromatic spray! Oh yeah, that one does hurt. Get to rolling. Boom! Okay. Let's see if I passed my check here. Yeah, that hurt. See you tomorrow. Ugh.